Who's in? Who's out? In less than 24 hours from right now, we will know what the Seattle Seahawks 53-man roster looks like ahead of the start of the 2024 season. On this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, I will give you my final roster projection, what I think John Schneider and Mike Macdonald will ultimately decide on. I'm not saying what I would do. I'm saying what I think the Seahawks will do with this roster that will be revealed tomorrow. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We'll go over the full list here in just a moment. But first, need your help trying to reach 55,000 subscribers on Seahawks Today before Week 1. We're less than 300 away from reaching that next milestone. Help us out as we bring you free coverage each and every day on the channel. Daily news and rumors, live shows, watch parties, Q&A mailbags, breaking news, and more. If you're a real member of the 12s, you got to be subscribed to Seahawks Today. Join the family now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Let's start with the quarterback position. I anticipate the Seahawks going with just two quarterbacks. P.J. Walker has not looked good in the preseason. There's no need to carry more than two. They haven't given any indication that they want to carry more than two quarterbacks. It'll be Geno Smith and Sam Howell there. Meanwhile, the running back spot, there was a big debate over the last few weeks. Would it be 3? Would it be 4? And I think the Seahawks have to feel very positive about what they've seen over the last few weeks from both Kenny McIntosh and George Holani to keep both of them on the 53-man roster, to go 4 deep at that spot. Kenny McIntosh has been a better runner, but George Holani's been a better in pass pros. So they kind of complement each other in that sense. They're both very good options. In addition to having Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet, I think you're looking at a very good backfield here for Seattle going with these 4. The wide receiver spot. Now this is where we're starting to get a little controversial. DK, JSN, Tyler Lockett, Jake Bobo. No surprises there. And this is where we start to get interesting. We're going with Shenault to take one of those spots. And yes, there he is. Dee Eskridge makes the spot on the 53-man roster over Derek Young. I think Derek Young hangs around the practice squad. Potentially could get elevated later on in the year. Also makes it over Aesop Winston, who's led the Seahawks in receiving. But the Seahawks have had a soft spot for Dee Eskridge. Is this the decision I would make? No. But they continue to give Dee Eskridge opportunity after opportunity. And he had a very good preseason game on Saturday night. I would argue the best performance he's ever had in a Seahawks uniform. I don't think they're moving on from him until I actually see it with my own eyes. And I got 4 eyes, folks. So while I would be moving on from D, I don't think they're going to. I think they're ultimately going to keep Dee Eskridge on this 53-man roster, at least for now anyway. What do you guys think? You make the call. What will the Seahawks do? Not what you would do, but what do you think the Seahawks do? Will Dee Eskridge make the 53-man roster or not? Why for yes, in for no? Weigh in our pin comment today. Let us know what you think. The tight end position, I think the Seahawks go with Noah Fant, Pharaoh Brown, A.J. Barner, and Brady Russell. I think Russell gets the spot over Jack Westover. Remember, Russell got the start this final preseason game this past week. They seem to really like Brady Russell, and with the injury to Pharaoh Brown, I think that they're looking at another blocking tight end option they could potentially need. Russell's a better blocker than Westover is. I think the edge goes to Russell, but that doesn't mean that Westover is done by any stretch. I think he goes to the practice squad, could be a guy that gets elevated down the line. The offensive line. Now, here we go, folks. Charles Cross, Laken Tomlinson, Connor Williams, Anthony Bradford, George Fant. I expect that to be your starting 5 week 1 with Christian Haynes, Olu, Stone Forsythe, and McClendon Curtis as your backups. That means that the Seahawks move on from a couple late-round rookies in this mix, that they lean towards the veterans. I think I give an edge McClendon Curtis getting one of those spots because everything we've heard has all been positive. They weren't expecting him to compete for a starting role, but he's done a pretty good job and been right up there. I think he gets rewarded for his efforts. Meanwhile, Abraham Lucas, the thought was that they would have him in time for week 1 when the season begins, but we've seen no signs of progress of him being ready to go. I think the Seahawks play it safe. They go with George Fant to start week 1 and begin Abe Lucas on the PUP list, sidelining him for the first 4 weeks, and then reevaluate him from there to potentially make a return later in the season. How would you grade the Seahawks' 53-man roster? We've gone through the entire offense. Now we're going to go through the defense here in just a moment. Give it a grade for me. A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know in the comment section below. Today's show is sponsored by GameTime. GameTime is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. GameTime has a new feature called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have this new thing called Super Deals. If you stumble upon a super deal, you have found something you don't want to miss on, folks. They also have seat views so you can see what your seat is like. You pick the game you want to go to, choose your seat. Then from there, you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. I'm going to be using GameTime this weekend, going to Vegas to the USC-LSU game. You can use it too, whether you're going to Seahawks games, Mariner games, maybe it's the Seattle Storm, concerts, comedy shows, theater productions, and more. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Defensive line, I think the Seahawks go with 6. Leonard Williams, Jonathan Hankins, Jaron Reed, Byron Murphy II, Mike Morris, and Miles Adams hold down those spots on the D-line. The edge rushers, a bit of change within the last few hours as they've added Trevis Gipson via trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars today with Derek Hall, Boye Mafe, and Draymond Jones. And we had an injury update come in this afternoon on Uchenna Nwosu. Sounds like he's going to be out anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. I think that puts him on the PUP list with knowing that he could be out an extended period of time. It seems worse than what was initially thought when he got banged up on Saturday when he was taken away in that game. So that's where I think he begins there. Meanwhile, the inside linebacker room also looking a little bit different for Seattle as of late. I got Dodson and Baker as your 2 starters. Baker might be out week 1, but I don't think that he's out long enough to go to PUP. I think he starts on the active roster. We go Tyrese Knight, the rookie. John Radigan, I would hope that the Seahawks keep him on the roster, but renegotiate, go from $3 million to $1 million, because I don't expect anyone else to be willing to pay John Radigan $3 million, so why should the Seahawks make him take a pay cut, save some cap space there? And then Michael Barrett, who you just traded for from the Carolina Panthers last week, gives you 5 linebackers there on the inside. The corner room, we're going with Devin Witherspoon, Reek Wolin, Trey Brown, Nehemiah Pritchett, DJ James, and then the UDFA, D. Williams, ultimately ends up making the 53-man roster. We did not forget about Artie Burns, though. With his injury, I think Artie goes to the PUP list. I don't think Artie's going anywhere anytime soon. After having a very good training camp and preseason, I think that he's just kind of sits out for now and then potentially comes back later. And if there's another injury, then Artie could get back in the mix as far as that goes. We got a couple more position groups to get to before we wrap up here on today's show. Name a player the Seahawks should cut. Who is somebody that you want to see Seattle move on from? Way in the comment section, let us know. The safety room, I think Seattle goes with Julian Love, Rayshawn Jenkins, Kobe Bryant, and Ty Okada. For that, those 4 spots, I have Jarek Reed going on the PUP list. We have no indication of when he could potentially return, so I think he starts there for now. And it'll be interesting. The Seahawks want to play some 3 high safety looks. They could have that flexibility with how well Kobe Bryant has looked in this preseason. Special teams unit, no surprises. Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, and Chris Stoll round out the 53-man roster for the Seattle Seahawks. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Coming up tomorrow, we'll have full reaction to the 53-man roster reveal. We'll see how I did. Can I go 53 of 53? I'm feeling pretty confident. Subscribe now. Join us tomorrow. We'll reveal the full 53-man roster and more coming up. We'll see you then right here on Seahawks Today.